So as this channel, grows and you guys get to see more of my personality, I get to know more of you guys in the comments, and I really appreciate the comments. A lot of you guys can really, really, really write, and I appreciate that. Some of you guys are just straight up funny, and in the future, I really hope to do like a live stream so we can get interaction back and forth. Hopefully, when we hit that 1K subscriber count, we'll be there. We'll be there. So I mean, if you really want that, really want to say that, like, call up your mom, send her my channel, make her subscribe. Your mom loves you; she'll do anything for you. So the point is, sometimes, like when I'm looking for videos to go over, to elucidate some sort of point, sometimes I think I see something like, oh, according to the algorithm, according to the data, and we love data. I'm thinking, okay, this might be popular. And there's other times where it's like, I think this is important. I think this is one of those videos that are important. Let's get into it.
Generation of men that is like we are literally watching them die out in real time. We've got 32-year-olds, 35-year-olds who do not have children, do not know how they're going to ever have children. Some people like just put yourself out there, just work out, work on yourself, and things will work out.
That's true. That's the core of my advice, right? The crux of that, the fine print, the terms and conditions, is the workout part, not like the physically workout part. That things will work out. That's in the sense that when you go through these challenges and these struggles and these tribulations that you put yourself, in front of, you will come out on the other side and realizing that the goal in life isn't necessarily an external one. It's not a partner. It's not in a woman, right? Instead of you, and this is it's a hard thing to go through to understand, because right now all you want is to be with someone else. All you want is to have someone else there with you. And if you don't have that ability, and he'll go into a little bit more later, but if you haven't had that luck, if you didn't win the genetic lottery, then your desire for this will be ruinous, right? Over time, because you're not getting that, you're feeling like there's something wrong with me. So my advice is always to do work. My advice is always hard work, because in that, hopefully you'll come out the other side. And when you do face that rejection, it doesn't cripple you. Your desire for this is here. And when you don't attain it, you don't want your self-esteem to now suffer. You need your self-esteem to be based on a bedrock of experiences and challenges that you as a man have accomplished. When it's outside of that, and we've all been there. We all have been there. As a man, we've all been there. We've had our heart broken. We had our Dawson's Creek moment. I'm completely dating myself now. Or you're outside with the boom box, or you wrote the letter, and she looked at it, looked at you, giggled, and kept it moving, and you were crushed. How many days, how many weeks did you waste? How many years did you pine after that person? That experience is just cemented in there without a bedrock of experience to fall back on. And of course, I didn't have anything 15, 16. Didn't have anything to fall back on. It hurt. It hurt. But now, if you're in your 30s and you still are in this position where you haven't had luck, you know, but you have this resume of things you've accomplished. You can look back and say, no, I've been through stuff. I've been through stuff. I'll get through the next thing.
But they have something in their makeup, something in their attachment style, something in their tendency for social anxiety that allows them to put forth effort and succeed. And then there are these other people over here who will go to therapy, who will work on themselves professionally, who will show up on dating apps. And because of the shape of their face, which cannot be fundamentally altered, or some other thing which they're not even aware of,
Height, right? That's a big one.
there's this whole crop of people who I think are trying really hard. I don't think they're losers. I don't think they're like pathetic or anything like that. I think there's something about the architecture of how these people are built so that standard advice does not apply to them.
Absolutely. And I think the internet is full of stories like that, where I think what brought a lot of people to sort of that red pill moment of their in their lives, right? And I'm not talking about the worst of the red pill as it's defined today, but in that moment of realization that what you've been told about how relational experience is supposed to go how it's supposed to happen. You do your best, you bring your best foot forward, and then you will be rewarded. Then there is that thing. It's the version of Disney that we get as men that is completely wrong. And when we confront this, or when we're confronted with it, we have a period where it's just you're angry, you don't know what to do. This disconnect has left you sort of, in this existential crisis.
I almost wonder, is there a mechanism in a human being that if your genes know they're dying out, what would they trigger in your mind? Right? And I think what they would trigger is exactly what we're seeing. This like existential panic, angst, even aggression, entitlement. Because if these men do not behave in this way,
I don't know about the entitlement part, um, but I think it would be interesting if there was some sort of genetic makeup of that and the way it could be expressed phenotypically. But I think we see more or less psychologically, we see that angst in larger society. We see how it is, you know, I think it's one of the reasons why they try to keep men docile. And again, I don't want to put my conspiracy hat on because I got dreads and the hats don't really fit well. But if men were supercharged with testosterone and having trouble with their realization or where they felt in society was just off, you'd probably have a lot more. You probably have revolution. So I think what and I think sometimes you have to be careful on the internet of the what you talk about because you're on someone else's platform, you're on YouTube's platform. So there's certain words you can't say, certain words that will look and say get you demonetized. Not that this channel is monetized or sponsored by anyone, but I don't want to get in the habit of getting caught in that sort of trap. But the larger or the growing subset of men, that 80% that women are not into, or that may be invisible to women, that's the one we're talking about that are slowly getting pushed aside because you don't meet this generation's or the joining generation's view of beauty, of that standard. And as much as we can say that women don't look at attraction, or they'll tell you the things that they want, and women cut me some slack here if I'm not saying it as clear and concise as can be, but the things they say they want from a man, and you can just open up your phone and you'll see something. The caveat under that is they want it from a man that they are attracted to. So you can have all the things that they're saying, that they're talking about, but you're not that guy. Then that doesn't make any sense to her. That old adage of what's sexual harassment from an ugly guy is flirting from a handsome one. So if you don't just meet that, your life is tougher. If you didn't win the genetic lottery, i.e., you're tall, your bone structure is the right way, your complexion is the right way, or what's right for society today as a man, and if you have to fall back to your means of production, you have to fall back to a whole host of other things, and you have things that you have to get a leg up over. It's difficult. And I get why sometimes in the comments you'll see men like, that's supposed to get your password. I think this is a better idea than dealing with the societal angst, than getting violent, than getting angry, or moreover, retreating from society. If you're not having dating success here, right, and you're in this group, the 30s, the 30, 34, you want a family, you want kids, and it doesn't look like that prospect is possible here, go where you loved, go where there's a possibility, or accept that it may never happen for you. It's a rough video, and I don't like to leave on like doom and gloom stuff, but I think this is the real reality for a lot of men, and from some of the older gentlemen in the comments that have tried relationships and have not, they found a lot of peace being by themselves, doing their own thing, and that is also super admirable. Again, stories like that is something I want to be able to highlight later on in live streams, where we can talk and exchange real like world information, or what you actually experience, what it's been like for you. I think it's also important for men not to feel so isolated, like they're alone in this sort of game. Hope it helps. See you guys on the next one.